How big of a worry is inflation to people at home and to the equity market?
I mean, it's obviously a huge concern. That's why you've seen yields going higher. And as soon as yields go higher, discount rates are higher. So the market tends to pull back, right? So that's been the issue. If you go back, if you look at Kalshi, which is one of the betting sites that's out there.
Now we're betting.
You go back to the prices paid number that came out last week, which came out super hot. Prior to that, inflation expectations for 2025 were 3.6%. They jumped to 4.1% immediately. Now they've come back down to 3.9% after today's data. But you look at the University of Michigan consumer sentiment stuff that came out just a few days ago. Their one-year inflation expectations have gone from 2.8% up to 3.3%. So inflation is still a huge issue. But look, the reading today, very solid. I think it's giving investors and consumers a little, sigh of relief. And hopefully inflation ends up being a heck of a lot cooler than I think a lot of people are concerned about.
If you listen on the left, the only thing they can attack him with regarding, and I'm talking about the president-elect, is his tariff strategy. It's going to be inflationary. All of a sudden, they didn't care about inflation for the last 4 years. Now they seem to care when it comes to tariffs. But reports are indicating that he and his team are mulling gradual tariffs to kind of reduce some of that pressure if it has to happen. Your thoughts on that?
If it's true, right? Because we've heard a lot of things on Trump is, potentially going to just target 3 different categories of tariffs. He came out a week or so ago and said that's not true. That's fiction.
Right.
Master negotiators, like President Trump, tend to not show their hand. Right. So we don't know what he's going to do in that regard. But what I can say is in 2019, if you remember, he threatened Mexico if they did not enforce their side of the border with an immediate 5% tariff that would then step up by 5% every single month thereafter until it hit 25%. So when you look at his track record, he has done that before. That would certainly ease some of these inflation concerns and could be very effective. But I doubt he's going to let it be known out there that that's his strategy.
He likes having all these different things out there because then he's got options, right? I might do that or I might do this. It depends how you, other country, respond. So, the left is like, oh, the tariffs, whoa, tariffs. Small businesses are like, we're excited.
Super excited.
We've got the highest small business confidence, 6-year high. It's gone up at the fastest rate, I think you were saying, Taylor, in 2 months.
In 2 months, the highest in 39 years.
These guys aren't worried about tariffs.
Less tax, less regulation, right? I mean, that's what they are focused on. And small businesses have been in a recession for the last several years. I mean, that optimism number you mentioned was kind of hovering around 90 for the last 2 years. Now it's up to 105. Ever since, President Trump was about to be elected, you started to see it kind of ratchet higher. Small businesses are the heartbeat of America. Yes. They employ 50% of the private sector workforce. They are responsible for roughly 50% of our GDP. That's important. And when you actually look at what's happened over the course of the last 6 months in the small business sector, according to the ADP report, 4 out of the last 6 months, small businesses, those businesses with 49 and fewer employees, have cut jobs. Now, last month, they added jobs, a whole whopping 5,000 jobs. That was it. But things are certainly starting to turn for the better. And you are going to see, look, we need to see small businesses healthy and thriving. That is indicative of a strong economy. The world doesn't live and die by what Meta does or Alphabet does. The world lives and dies by how small businesses are doing. And we need to get back to having pro-business, pro-growth policies.
And Taylor, as you've said, and we've all talked about, they need President Trump to get the core of his agenda done on taxes. They're not so worried about the debate around a lot of these things like Greenland or tariffs, but they got to see the core get done.
If I'm a small business owner, I need to understand if I'm capitalizing or expensing next year, what my tax rate is going to be.